So my first few days in the mission field was crazy. There was a group of 30 of us that left the MTC and we all went to Costa Rica together. 30, like that's huge. There's normally not groups that go out that big. So it was very overwhelming for the mission president, for the mission itself. Like you should see the picture we have of all of us, like new missionaries and our trainers. Like it's like 60 of us all in one picture because there's just so many missionaries. But it was an overwhelming feeling to arrive at the airport and be greeted by my mission president and his wife with just big open arms, so much love, and so excited for us to be there. And then being at the mission home and being assigned to our companions who are going to be our trainers, that was also very nerve-wracking and exciting because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know where I was going. My Spanish was not, I mean, I knew a little bit, but I didn't know if my companion was going to know any English because most of them who were there were Latino missionaries. And I ended up getting paired with a missionary from Panama, and we went to one of the hottest parts of Costa Rica, driest, hardest areas. But I remember just being so ready and so excited to go. When I had my interview with my mission president, when I first got there, I said, "President, I'm telling you this because my stake president told me to tell you this, but I agree with it, and like I'm ready to work. Like, put me to work, send me where you need me to go." And he goes, "That's exactly what I want to hear, hermana." And I just remember like feeling such a great love from him and him just embracing all of us new missionaries and being sent off into our areas. And it was hard. It was really hard, but it was really great all at the same time.
I remember when I first, when we flew into Costa Rica, I left, it was late we left the MTC, drove to Salt Lake. It had to be somewhere around 6 or 7 in the afternoon, and flew to LA. And then in LA, I think it was something like 11 o'clock at night or something is when our next flight went to Guatemala City. Got to Guatemala City, I can't remember when it was, but when we left LA, but we got there, I remember sometime around 5 in the morning. It was still dark. And so we got to see the sunrise. There were about 8 or 10 of us that went down at the same time to Costa Rica. And we got to watch the sunrise from the airplane somewhere above Central America. So that's the biggest thing I remember from the start, was watching the sunrise and the clouds. You see little mountain peaks popping up, and pretty idyllic. It was kind of cool. But flew down there to Costa Rica, and I remember the first thing I thought of was, wow, it's humid. It shocked me. And I'm from Texas, where it's not, it's not very dry. It's East Texas is pretty humid, but it shocked me from living in Provo for 2 months learning Spanish and getting down there. Lots of busy work you have to do that first day. Lots of stuff to get your visa, to do immigration requirements and training and stuff. So there's a much more being shuttled around and getting pictures and fingerprints and stuff than I thought we would have. And I don't know if it's different in other places, but in Costa Rica, it all had to be done within like 24 hours. So we were rushing around like chickens with our heads cut off, getting everything done. But that first week, it was wonderful and also very shocking at the same time. I realized I really didn't have any way of communicating with the people. I thought I had learned Spanish, but no, you get there and it was something else. The people, they don't speak fast Spanish in Costa Rica, but I still couldn't understand them. And we had a slew of discussions set up the first day when I arrived, and that was back when we had discussions, and so all I could do, I couldn't remember them, so I went ahead and had the book in front of me and I read, but I couldn't understand their responses or anything. But it was one of those things where it's almost a testimony building experience. I didn't know really what they were saying, and I was just praying that I could understand what I was saying, but I could still feel the Spirit. So that was a wonderful help to me then, to keep discouragement and doubt at bay, that I knew something was working and they could understand. If it was only just my companion, they were still feeling the Spirit, and at least my objective was what was being worked on then. But it was a wonderful experience. Well, it's super memorable because my mission president, he had us fly out earlier so that we could be there for President Ballard, President Eyring, and President Christopherson. All of them were speaking to our whole mission. So we went out there earlier. But I do remember just that excitement of wanting to talk to everybody. The bus driver, the lady that was driving us to the temple, I was just like super excited to talk to her in Spanish. But I do remember our mission president when we got there, getting to the temple. He just gathered us around. It was about 10 o'clock at night, so it was super late, but the lights were still showing on the temple, and he just told us that was our goal, that's what we wanted our investigators to have as an eternal family. So that was a very memorable experience to right after getting off the plane, going to the temple and seeing that. I know that right now there's a tradition in the mission. Your trainer, he buys you it's called a treat, Tritz. It's like this ice cream sandwich. So that was just a tradition that we had the first day in the mission. Your trainer would buy you that. So I did that to the people I trained. So